Hey guitar chefs, it's my Big 41. This week I continued practicing and figuring out the chords, and I added the chords from the Dorian mode, which is D minor, D sus2, D sus4, D minor 6th, D minor 7th, D minor at 9, D minor 9th, D minor 11th, and D minor 13th. Yeah, these are the chords, and also on the third day of practicing all this stuff, and adding these chords to the ones which I learned from Ionian mode, I figured out that I won't be able to learn them all by heart. So instead of it, I decided to create my chord library, and I started to make all these chord diagrams and put them into corresponding folders in order to, when I need some of these chords, I could always look them up at that folder. So yeah, this chord library will be growing throughout the weeks and months, so hopefully it will be useful someday. And also I'll be sharing those in the description or as a comment for this post, I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, basically what I've been doing is playing a lot of chords. It's like a lot. I have 143 voicings total for this week. So the next minutes will be just me playing all these voicings, and the corresponding diagrams will be on screen for your convenience. So let's go. Let's start with the chords from C Ionian mode, C major, C sus2, C sus4, C6, C major 7th, C at 9, C major 9th, C major 11, C major 13th, and now let's switch to the chords from D Dorian mode, D minor, D sus2, D sus4, D minor 6th, D minor 7th, D minor at 9th, D minor 9th, D minor 11th, D minor 13th. Yeah, that was a lot of chords. Hopefully, you'll find some of them useful. And yeah, Kaio, please, if there are some voicings that are commonly used which I forgot to add, or if there are something incorrect, but I'm not sure if it's possible because I've double checked all of them today before the recording, so it should be fine. But still, if you will find something which is not correct on the note front or in the harmony part, I don't know. Feel free, and I'm asking you to let me know if that's the case, because I need that chord library and I want it to be perfect, so I don't need the chords or voicings which are incorrect in it. Okay, and now let's move on to the questions. I have 3 of them. The first one is, okay, when I want to construct a chord, especially with the extensions like 9, 11, 13, I need to add those notes. But I have an option to play these notes on the lower strings instead. It's easier sometimes, but is it the case that it's still the same chord, or if it's better to omit this certain extension instead of playing it on the lower strings? For example, if I need to play the 13th chord, I should have 7th, 9th, 11th, and 13th. Okay, so for example, if I can't play 11th on the higher strings closer to 13th note, should I just omit it and play something else instead, like root, 3rd or 5th? Or maybe I should play it on the lower notes instead and it would be fine. I don't know if it's the musically correct question, but it is what it is. The second question is pretty much about the same stuff, because all I do now is constructing chords. So should I avoid playing open strings when I'm playing the chords on the higher frets? Because I understand that if the chord doesn't have an open strings, it's more useful because it can be moved from fret to fret, changing the key without any issues, right? And if there is an open string, if you move one fret up or down, you can't play the string anymore. It would sound wrong because it's not in the key and that chord. So my question is, am I right that we should avoid those open strings when we play something chord related on the higher frets? Or is it okay and it's maybe even useful? I mean, I can see that we can play these strings when it's the lower E or higher E, or any string that's below or up or upper the whole chord shape. Because if you move that one string, one fret, you can just mute those strings. But if you have, for example, open strings in the middle of the chord, you can just simply mute it when you move up or down. So that's the question and issue. I mean, it's not an issue, and I'm not sure if there are a lot of chords that you can play like this, but I thought it was interesting. The third question is pretty simple, but yet interesting. In the live stream, I asked Brandon what notes could I omit when playing the chords with 11th, 13th, or something like that. And Brandon told me that the most important notes are the third and the seventh. They are leading notes or leading tones, something like that. So after that, I went through all of my diagrams which I had at that point, and I noticed that from time to time I decided to omit third instead of fifth. So my question is, if I play the same chord, but instead of omitting the fifth, I omit third, uh, is it still counts as the same chord? Or without the third, it's not this chord anymore, and we should call it something different? It's more of a. I'm not sure if it's much applicable question, and it's going to be really fun to dive into this harmony stuff, notes, chords, their relationship, etc. So yeah, that's my question. And actually, I have one more question, the fourth one, which I forgot about, and it's not chord construction related, which is great. It's more about improvisation. So actually, I think I already know the answer to the question, but still. I was improvising over simple major chords, right? C major, G major, and I kind of know what notes should I play that and what I shouldn't. Root, third, fifth is okay, is great. Fourth and sixth not so great. Seventh is kind of okay, but yeah. And what should I do when I'm playing or improvising something over the harder versions of the chords, like major seventh, I don't know, minor 11th? I understand that I can use all the notes within that chords, but which of them sounds better, right? So that's my fourth question. Slightly theoretical again, but I'm going deep into this stuff. And that concludes this week. Next week, I'll try to do two more modes at once. It's going to be Phrygian and Lydian. Yeah, hopefully in the end of it, I will have the same amount of diagrams of chords. Yeah, finally, I'm going to be able to play some chord progressions because I'll be having enough chords for that. So yeah, that's fine. So yeah, guitar chefs, see you next week. Bye.